Alright, let's get going on part 2. It's number 35. We want to solve the equation or formula used for the variable specified. So on number 35, we want to solve for r, which means we have to move the positive 9t to the other side, and we have to get rid of the 3q. So since this is a plus 9t, I'm going to subtract 9t. Both sides. We'll have 3qr equals 7u minus 9t. There we go. And then divide by 3q on both sides. So anything that we're not solving for, so anything other than r, we treat just like it's a number. So this could be 3r plus 9 equals 7. And subtract 9 on both sides, but on here we're going to subtract 9t on both sides. And we have 3r equals 7 minus 9, and instead of dividing just by 3, we have to divide by 3q. So the stuff that we're not solving for, we treat just like it's part of the number. So again, our final answer would be right here. Number 36, the following formula is for perimeter of a rectangle where L is the length and W is the width. Okay, the width of the rectangle, which has a perimeter of 54 centimeters. Okay, so we have a rectangle which all the way around, which is perimeter, is 54, but the length is 18. So we have that side's 18, this side is 18. We need to figure out what W is. So both of these. So perimeter is all the way around, so we know that if we add all these up, it will equal 54. So we have 2 W's, plus 18 plus 18, which is 36, equals 54. So do a little algebra and solve this. Okay, we know that 2W will equal 18, so our width is going to equal 9 centimeters. It won't be 9 square centimeters because that has to do with area. Anything that has square centimeters, which this is a square centimeter, 9 square centimeters, would have to do with area. Okay, number, see here, 37. Solve the formula for r. Okay, so let's solve this for r right here. So circumference equals 2 pi times r, and if we just treat the 2 and the pi as the same thing, we'll divide both sides by 2 pi. That cancels out, so we'll have circumference divided by 2 pi equals r. Okay, okay, we're missing the problem here for number 37. Here, go here. I guess we're missing 37. That's okay. 38, I think we're supposed to find the slope. Alright, so we have a formula that says find how far apart the y's are from each other. And that should be over how far apart the x's are from each other. Alright, so if we plug it in, it's a good idea to use parentheses here just in case of negatives. So the y's, which are negative 2 and 4, and the x's, which are negative 3 and 5, negative 3 and 5, let's see what we get here. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. And negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. The two negatives will cancel out and make a positive, so we know it's not C or D. And looks like we have to reduce it. So we have divide both top and bottom by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have positive 3 over 4. Same thing on 39. So use these parentheses how I'm setting it up just to help avoid any problems with negatives. And y is on top, so we have 3 and negative 5. Notice how this would be minus a negative, so we're going to say 3 plus 5. And then negative 2 and negative 5. Once again, two negatives will make a positive. So 3 plus 5 is 8, and negative 2 plus 5 is 3. And that can't be reduced, so we'll just leave it like that. Number 40. So you write the equation in line given the slope and the y-intercept. So we've given a slope and a y-intercept. Well, there's this nice form we have called slope-intercept form, which comes from this exact problem. We're given a slope and a y-intercept, slope-intercept form, we're going to use this form. So slope is also known as m, and a y-intercept is also known as b. So our slope equation will be, slope-intercept equation will be y equals 2/7 x, and then the minus 3. So no work to do here, we just have to know the correct form and plug it in, right? Let's see here, number 41, write the equation for the total cost of renting a bicycle and riding for m miles. Okay, so our information here, they charge $5 plus 20 cents or $0.2 per mile. The part that is per mile or rate is always going to be considered the slope. And the part that they charge extra, the one-time fee, is also always considered the y-intercept. So we'll know that our cost is equal to however many miles we ride, so 20 cents times however many miles we ride, m, plus $5. And that looks like it'll be answer A, which is the same thing just in reverse here. Similar to number 42, if they charge $35 one-time fee and the per hour cost is kind of like a slope. So we'll say, let's see here, we'll just say charges for C. So the charges will equal $35 plus $20 per hour, or 20h. Number 43, write equation of the line that passes through, I'm guessing this point with a slope of 2. So this equation we want to use is point slope. Anytime they give you a point and a slope, like they did here, they give us a point, 7 comma negative 6, and a slope of negative 2, you want to use the point slope form. Okay, so we just plug everything properly, shouldn't be too bad. So we have y minus y1, which is negative 6. Notice how we have a double negative here, equals 2 times x minus 7. This is the point slope form. We might simplify it to plus 6, since that's a double negative. Now if they ask for slope intercept, we can do one more step and distribute 2x minus 14 and then subtract 6 on both sides. Y equals 2x minus 20. On 44, it's very similar. It's that they don't give us the slope, though. We have to calculate the slope, then we have to do the same thing as 43 and pick one of the points and use our slope that we found to find our final answer. So let's find the slope first, which will be formula from before. Let's plug everything in. Y is on top, negative 9 and negative 1. And on the bottom of the x's, negative 6, negative 8. Again, notice the double negatives we have here and here. So negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. Negative 6 plus 8 is 2. equals negative 4. So our slope is negative 4. Right away you can see how that eliminates choice D. It's not negative. So at least we know that much. The rest of these, A, B, and C, do have a negative 4 slope. So we can pick either point right now and use the point slope form, and then our negative 4 slope here. So I'm going to pick the first one. So I'm going to have y minus a negative 9, which is y plus 9, equals negative 4 times x minus a negative 6, which is plus 6. Let's go ahead and solve this for y, since all the answers in y equals format. So we have negative 4x minus 24, and then we'll have to subtract 9 on both sides. So we have negative 4x, negative 24 minus 9 is negative 33. So that leaves us with choice A. On number 45, they ask that we just write it in point slope form, so this is actually a little bit easier. We don't have to solve for y, so y minus y1 would be y minus 3 equals m, which is 1, times x minus x1, so minus a negative will be plus 4. And that's all we have to write for this one, since they want it in point slope form. So you got to read the directions carefully to see, do they want it in y-intercept form, like these two, or point slope form, like here. 46 asks for standard form, which is not typical, and you won't need to know that on the final. But just for practice, let's go ahead and write it in slope-intercept form, y equals form. So let's distribute 2/5 times x is 2/5 x. 2/5 times 9, or 9 over 1, would be 18. 2 times 9 is 18. And 5 times 1, which is just 5. And let's go ahead and subtract 3 on both sides, or 3 over 1. Let's see, 18 over 5 minus 3 over 1. You need a denominator of 5, so let's multiply the bottom by 5 and the top by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And then 18 minus 15, excuse me, is 3/5. We have y equals 2/5 x plus 3/5. Again, don't worry about standard form or converting to. You won't have to do that here. 47, once again, just write in slope-intercept form. Same thing we just did. So first distribute, and then we'll subtract 3. So we'll have y plus 3 equals 3x minus 3, and subtract 3 more, both sides. Careful, these don't cancel out. This isn't going to be 0 right here. Negative 3 and 3 will equal negative 6. So we'll get B. Number 48. Okay, once again, we have to find, let's see here, looks like the line that is parallel to this. Okay, so parallel lines will have the same slope. So the slope of this line is going to be negative 3/4. So basically what I just did is say, well, the slope is going to equal negative 3/4 because it's parallel, it's going to be the same, and it turns into a problem that we did before where we have a point in the slope. Let's just write point slope form. So y minus a negative 1 will be y plus 1 equals negative 3/4 times x minus 5. And solve that for y. So we'll have to distribute, do the same thing we just did above. Y plus 1 equals negative 3/4 x plus, again if you need to, put it over 1, plus 15 over 4, and then go ahead and subtract 1 from that, which is the same as 4 over 4 is 1. So we have y equals negative 3/4 x, 15 minus 4 is 11 over 4. And there you have it. 49. Okay. I believe this time we want something that is perpendicular. Perpendicular means for the slope anyway, you have the opposite reciprocal. So if we take our slope, find the reciprocal, and take the opposite, which means change the sign. So this is negative. We're going to change it to positive. 5 over positive 1, or just 5, is going to be our slope. And then we'll use this point right here. Notice on the answers here, there's only one answer that has a positive 5 slope. And that'd be answer B. This is a negative, this is negative, this is 12/5. So we know that's going to be the answer. So we can just verify it by plugging everything in. We have y minus 2 equals 5 times x minus 2 again. These are both 2. So we have y minus 2 equals 5x minus 10, and then add 2 to both sides, and sure enough we get 5x plus, 5x minus 8, just like we thought we would here, minus 8. Alright, let's move on to solving systems of equations. So here, number 50, probably want to use, it says use substitution. So substitution is easiest when we have an x equals or y equals. Here we have y equals x plus 1, which means this y also equals x plus 1. So we have 8x minus 4 times x plus 1. That's equal to 0. We solve this by distributing. Okay. We'll have 4x here, and if I add 4 to both sides, I'll have 4x equals 4. 4 times what is 4? X equals 1. Okay. That's only part of the answer. We know that y is 1 more than x, x plus 1, so we know that y is going to equal 2. We just plug x back in here. So our answer is 1, 2. Same thing here, substitution. In order to get this equal to x or y, it's probably easiest to solve for x by adding 3y to both sides. Okay, so x is equal to 3 minus 9 or negative 9 plus 3, either way. So I can go here and say, well, negative 2 times 3y minus 9 plus 6 equals 6y. So this one will have negative 6y plus 18 plus 6 equals 6y. I know this is going to equal 24. If I add 6y to both sides, I'll get 24 equals 12y. Therefore, 2 is equal to y by dividing both sides by 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. And now I need to find out what x is. So I can plug it back in to either equation. So I'll negative 9 equals x minus 3 times y, which we found to be 2. So negative 9 is the same as x minus 6. Adding 6 to both sides gives us negative 3 is equal to x. Always write in alphabetical order, no matter which order you solve in. So we have negative 3 first, and then 2 next. 52, sum of two numbers is 90. Alright, so we know, let's say a plus b is 90. The difference, or subtraction, is 12. So if we take the same two numbers and subtract them, it equals 12. This is a perfect setup for elimination method, since we have a plus and minus b. Here, that cancel out when we add. So a plus a, or 1a plus 1a, is 2a. 90 plus 12 is 102. That means a equals 51. We can plug it back into either equation, find out what b equals. So let's see here. 51 plus B equals 90. Subtract 51 on both sides, and we'll get B equals 39. 39. So that's 51 and 39. We can verify by adding to see if it equals 90, and indeed if you do 51 minus 39, you do get 12. 53. Let's see here. I look at like local electronics store like Radio Shack. CDs were on sale. Let's see here. Some were priced at $14, some at $12. Okay, so bring about 9 CDs and spend a total of $114. How many 12 CDs did she purchase? Okay, so we have 19. Let's see here, 9 CDs. Okay, so we know this. We know price-wise, she spent, see, $14, let's say, for those CDs, and $12 for those CDs, and we know it added up to $114 total. And she bought 9 CDs total. So we know that the number of CDs equals 9. We can solve this by maybe elimination. I can cancel out either the 14 or the 12 by multiplying by a negative of either one. Let's go ahead with negative 12 since it's a smaller number. Let's distribute that negative 12 to A. So negative 12 times A is negative 12 here. Negative 12 here will be minus 12B. Negative 12, don't forget about the other side, times 9 will be negative 108. Okay, so now if we simplify this, we'll get negative 12 plus 14 is 2A, which equals negative 108 plus 114, or 114 minus 108, which just equals 6. And then divide both sides by 2, we know that A equals 3. Now be careful that they ask for how many of the $12 CDs did we buy. $12 CDs. So the answer 3 is there, but we just found A, which is the number of $14 CDs. But if we know that she bought 9 total, and 3 of them were $14, that means B of equals 6. We have 6 $12 CDs. So always make sure you're answering the question that they ask. Alright, number 54, similar question. 15 pieces of fruit. Instead of 9 CDs, we have 15 pieces of fruit. Apples and bananas, so we'll do A plus B equals 15 this time. And we know, let's see, altogether it costs $1.59. Bananas are 13 cents and apples are 7 cents. I'm going to do everything in cents because they give us two numbers in cents and one number in dollars. So let's convert this to dollars, to cents by saying 159 cents. And we'll have apples being 7 cents, bananas being 13 cents, and it all adds up to 159 cents. So the units have to be the same for the money. All dollars or all cents. We could have done 0.07 and 0.13 and 1.59. Either way, you'll get the same answer. So let's go ahead and solve this one. Say multiply by negative 7. So if I multiply here, I'll get negative 7A, negative 7B, and 15 times 7 will equal 105, and it will be negative. Okay. And we add these up. We'll have 0 here. 13 minus 7 is 6. 159 minus 105 leaves us with 54. Divide both sides by 6, and we know there were 9 bananas total. They want to know how many bananas, how many apples, how many banana apples. So we know bananas. And if there are 15 pieces of fruit total, we had 9 bananas. That means there were 6 apples. As a coordinate, it will always be alphabetical. It would be 6, 9. 55. This time we just have to come up with the right equations. We don't have to solve. Okay, so the cost of 3 large candles and 5 small candles is $6.40. Cost of 4 large candles and 6 small candles is $7.50. Okay, so they want us to use T for the large and S for the small. So S is for small. Okay, so 3 large be 3T plus 5 small, 5S, is 6.4. We could put 40. And the second equation will be 4 large and 6 small is 750. And that looks like it's equation choice A, these two equations. 56. Okay, Joji earns 3 times as much as Masao. Joji and Masao both earn $4,500 together. How much more money does Masao earn? Alright, so we know that Joji equals 3 times as much as Masao. And we know together, we add them up, J plus M is going to equal 4,500. And we want to know how much more does Masao earn. So really we want to know what this equals. Okay. I want to know if we take Masao's earnings and subtract Joji's, how much more does he make or she make? Alright, so we can take this, we'll substitute into here. So we have 3M plus M equals 4,500. So we know 4M equals 4,500. Divide both sides by 4, and we'll get 1,125. Okay. We know we can find out how much Joji makes by taking 3 times that, which is 3,375. And if we want to know how much one makes more than the other, just go ahead and subtract those two, which would be 3,375 minus 1,125, which equals 2,250 more that he makes. Let's see here, 57. Admission fee of a theater is $250 for adult, $125 for children. On certain days, 700 people went to the theater and 1,375 was collected. So I know that 2.5 for adults plus 1.25 for children all added up to 1,375 with a total of 700 people that attended. So you can see how it's very similar to previous problems. You can solve this a number of ways. Let's just stick what we've been doing, which was elimination. You can multiply everything by negative 2.5. So that'll make this negative 2.5 to cancel out with this 2.5. Same thing here. 700 times 2.5 will equal negative 1,750. Alright, if we add all this up, this will equal 0. And we can simplify the left first. We'll get negative 375, and negative 2.5 plus 1.25 will equal negative 1.25 c, and we divide both sides by that. We'll end up with 300 children. And if we know 700 children went, 700 people went total, and if 300 children, we need 400 adults. Okay, a little more practice using elimination. This is already set up since we have one positive, one negative of the same variable. So this will equal 0 if we add it up. Negative 2 and negative 3 equals negative 5. If we add this up, we get 0. Divide both sides by negative 5. 0 divided by negative 5 equals 0. We can plug it back into either equation. So we'll have negative 2 times 0 minus 10y equals 10, which is the same as negative 10y equals 10. Divide both sides, we get y equals negative 1. So we have 0, comma, negative 1. On 59, similar, we have to cancel out. This time they don't give us some nice numbers, so we can try to cancel out either variable. It's easier to cancel out y's here. Since this is 6, I'm going to multiply the top by 3, because we need this to be negative 6. That will equal 0 when we add it up. So if we multiply in, this is going to be negative 9, negative 6, and negative 15. So we end up with negative 9 plus 7 is negative 2. Negative 6 positive 6 is 0. And negative 15 and 1 is negative 14, which leaves us with x equals 7. Plugging into either equation to find y, we have, let's see here, 7 times 7 plus 6y equals 1. We have 49 plus 6y equals 1. Subtract 49 both sides. So 6 times what equals negative 48? And that would be 6 times negative 8. So we have 7 and negative 8 in alphabetical order. Jordan is 3 years less than twice the age of his cousin. Column C, cousin. Their age is total 48. How old is Jordan? So let's do the easy one first. You know that Jordan's age plus his cousin age is 48. We know Jordan is 3 years less. So we take, let's see here. Jordan is 3 years less than twice the age of the cousins. Twice his age would be 2c, and then 3 years less than that. This is a good substitution problem right here. We plug that in right there and get 2c minus 3 plus c equals 48. See, we have 2c plus 1c is 3c, minus 3 is 48. Add 3 to both sides, 3c equals 51. Divide both sides by 3. 51 divided by 3 is 17. So we know the cousin is 17. We want to know how old Jordan is. So again, you can see an answer of 17 here, but that's how old the cousin is. We don't want that. We know their ages add up to 48. So if we make this 17, so Jordan's age plus 17 is 48, so that means 48 minus 17 is going to be Jody's age, or Jordan's age, and we get 31. Jordan equals 31 years old. 61, the length of a rectangular poster is 10 inches longer than its width. Okay. So let's say its width W, we know the length is 10 more than that. And if we go all the way around, it's going to add up to 124 inches. So if this side is width W, so is this side. And the length is going to be the same as well. So we got to add all these up and it equals 1, 2, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 W's plus 10, 20 equals 124, which means 4 times the width will equal 104. Divide both sides by 4, we'll get 26. And that is what they asked. They asked what is the width. We know the width is 26. If they asked for the length, we'd say it's 36 because it was 10 more than the width.